It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and we are back with another Polish authentic lager. And I'm saying that with a smile on my face because I really like Polish beer. I've had a history with Polish beer for the last 11 or 12 years. I got my German pint glass with this, Hofmeister glass. This is from Browar Staropolskie, and this is the Chmielne, 5.5% ABV. Green label on the bottle, brown bottle, swing top cap. Yeah, I just like that swing top cap, you know. This brewery started at the very, kind of like towards the end of the Industrial Revolution, 1892. Probably a coal mine or something large industrial in the area opened up. Let's call it coal mining. Poland and Wales has a big affiliation with one another with coal mining. Say a coal mine opened up in this area in 1890. By 1892, there's 50,000 workers there, a large town. That town needs beer. That town needs the men to be drinking beer. Back then, it was all about kind of like, not just nutrition, but it was almost like a food for them. It gave them energy. It revitalized them. This was the original energy drink. Beer was the original energy drink. None more so than in the Industrial Revolution. That's why you see these breweries all popping up around the same time. Mid to late 18 somethings. The 19th century, if you want to be specific. If I had that conversation with my wife, she would have said, you're talking about the 19th century. So beer in the glass then, 3-finger white head, good levels of carbonation. It's a slightly, it's definitely unfiltered. Lovely carbonation, but yeah, it's straw coloured, but definitely unfiltered at the same time. Ooh, looks good. I've had a few more of this brewery's beers. I had a comment from somebody who, I mean, this was a relaunch. This brewery relaunched a few years ago, and the comment was that this brewery had so much potential to do great things, and they didn't quite get there. On a personal level, I like it. I've liked every single one of their beers. It may not be high-end craft beer, but if you're in my position, and my position is, if I want to buy lager in the UK, San Miguel's British brewed now. You've got Madry everywhere, there's British brewed. Carlin, Foss, it's awful. Awful stuff. I can go, if you're in my position now, I can go to a Polish shop. I can pick up a fairly decent Polish lager for £2.50. And it'll be the same price as a Madry. And I know this before I've even tasted it. I know this will beat the pants off Madry. That's the reason why I'm standing here today reviewing it. Aroma. Yeah, lovely. Straight away. A little biscuity, a little sweet. Slightly peppery, slightly spicy. Let's dive in. Smells good. Definitely a big malt bomb of a lager. Cheers, everybody. Lovely. Lovely. There's a little, and I mean little, tickle of diacetyl in this beer. It's very slight. It's obviously, if you're a beer critic, if you're a beer, say, expert, if you like, then you're probably going to say, this beer has diacetyl in it. It's not right. It's actually classed as a defect in beer. But I'm going to argue the case here. I'm going to argue the case to say that, yes, there's a little pinch of diacetyl in this beer. But it's not enough to ruin the beer. It's not enough to... It actually complements the beer. The speck, the tiny amount of diacetyl in this beer is actually complementing it. Is actually giving it an extra dimension to the flavour, to the taste. I don't often say that. In fact, if I was to do 10 beers and they all had diacetyl in them, probably only 1 or 2 I would say I can deal with that. The rest, the sink pours. The other 8 beers would be going down the sink. But this, I'm not sure at this stage whether this beer should have a slight haze in it. In fact, I'm starting to wonder if it's part of that kind of diacetyl fault in the beer, that the beer's slightly hazy. It's the type of so let me quickly explain diacetyl. Diacetyl is where the beer has not had enough time to ferment. So the brewer has rushed it. They've rushed it out. They've gone, it's been paying rent too long. It's been here 3 weeks maybe. We need to get it out the door. So what they do, they cut off the fermentation. They stop the beer like towards the end of the fermentation, and then they package it and send it out the door. They haven't given it enough time to get rid of all of those residual sugars in the beer. And then those residual sugars that are left over, they kind of become a little bit buttery. It's like a butterscotch taste. But in this particular beer, it's slight. It's really slight. I like it. I would buy it again. I would buy any beer from Browar Staropolskie. In fact, if I was invited to a barbecue and I wanted to turn up, say you got a posh uncle, and your posh uncle wants to show off his nice BMW, and we've all got them in our family, we've all got them. He wants to show off his nice BMW, or he wants to show you his nice 4-bedroom house with his great big garden. You know, we've all got them in our family. Well, if you don't have that, like I do, I live in a small terraced house. You can always, I find you can bamboozle people. Bamboozle people. turn up with 8 different bottles of Browar Staropolskie swing top bottle cap lagers, and it'll bamboozle them. They'll be like, what's this guy doing? And they just won't understand it. And that's how I like to lead my life. Don't understand me. You'll never understand me. Looks good, smells good, tastes good. I like it, even if it's got a touch of diacetyl in it. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.